9mm versus 38 Special in compact guns. And what I mean by compact, well, they're a little bit smaller than full-size guns, and they're a little bit larger than subcompact guns or pocket guns. So we have our 4-inch Ruger Security 9 here for our 9mm and our 3-inch Taurus for our 38 Special. And today I have Underwood ammunition, a 124 grain plus P 9mm versus a 125 grain plus P 38 Special. Now the bullets are a little bit different design. These happen to be a Nosler and these happen to be an XTP. I could not get the 38 in a Nosler. I don't believe that Underwood makes them, and I couldn't acquire the XTP in the 9mm, but the Underwood does make them. But I thought it'd be fun to come out here to test them anyways, just to kind of see what we get between 9mm and 38 Special. 1 grain difference in weight, and our rated velocity is actually 1250 for our 38 and 1225 for our 9mm. However, generally Underwood runs like a 6-inch barrel for testing 38, and I don't know what they use for the 9mm, but we should kind of see similar velocity. So we are going to go through the chronograph to see what kind of velocity and accuracy we get at the same time. We'll see what, how close those velocities are, and then I'm going to do my 10% clear ballistic test here. We have 4 layers of denim on the front here, 3 inches of clear ballistics to represent hitting a pectoral muscle, a 1/4-inch MDF to represent hitting ribs or sternum, and onto more clear ballistics. We'll do a shot with the 1/4-inch MDF to represent hitting ribs or sternum. We'll pull it out and we'll do it without that just to represent a gut shot. And then I'm going to shoot from 25 yards at my full-size steel silhouette just to kind of see what kind of overall practical accuracy I can get. So let's get started with this test. All right, first up we have our 9mm rated at 1225 feet per second. I'm about 5 yards from the target, 4 yards from the chronograph. Let's see what we get with our 9mm. 1189, 1200, 1193, 1195, 1193. So a pretty consistent velocity. Let's try our 38 Special and see how that does. 38 Special rated at 1250 feet per second. Let's see what we get for velocity. No read. 1053. 1144. 1176. 1153. No read. I'll take those numbers. So one of those shots was really low. The rest of them were getting there really close to the 9mm. So let's hit our ballistics gel block, see what we get with these rounds. All right, first up we have our 9mm through our 1/4-inch MDF. Let's see what it'll do. Now let's try it with no MDF. All right, no MDF, just our gut shot. Let's see how it compares. Let's go take a look. All right, so that's some pretty consistent performance. It looks like we have a larger expansion with hitting our MDF, and here's where we hit. So we can tell that in that first 3 inches that this was pretty much fully expanded. And what we're getting through our MDF shot for penetration is right at about 13 3/4 inches penetration. With no MDF, we're at right at about 15 1/4. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That looks really good. Let's try our 38 Special now. All right, 38 Special through our 1/4-inch MDF. See how it does. All right, now let's try our gut shot. All right, no MDF, just our gut shot. See how 38 does. Let's go take a look. All right, so I expected that, to be honest, and this is one phenomenon I've actually seen a lot of times. Now, these are XTP bullets. They don't expand that well in 38 Special, and I actually don't really see much expansion at all. I don't see any through the straight gel shot, and I see only a little bit through our MDF, but the phenomenon I typically see is significantly more damage with 38 Special, even though the bullet doesn't look very impressive on the end. I've seen that so many times. It's interesting. So I'm going to pull this down here and take a little bit closer look from a different angle, and you can kind of see, you know, that there's a difference here. You know, 38 Special, it's just really putting a lot of damage that whole path. 9mm, not so much. But then the bullet looks more expanded and more impressive. So that's just an interesting phenomenon. It's really kind of hard to say that I think that 38 Special would be less effective because the bullet expanded less, even though we have a massive amount of damage. So let's shoot for that 25 yards, see what kind of practical accuracy I can get. All right, 25 yards from the target. Let's see what I can realistically do. Here's our 9mm. Kind of pulling a couple of them. That's kind of what I wanted to see. I know I'm not trying my best, but I'm just trying to, you know, put myself a little bit stressful situation in the sense of just get a quick sight picture, pop them off, and see what kind of real world accuracy I can get. So 38 Special, I'll do the same thing. Using a Model 10 loader here. And that's what we normally see, a little bit more recoil with 38 Special than 9mm. It's not significant, it's just slightly more, and these two guns weigh roughly the same weight, so it's kind of like if this were a standard pressure, this would feel like a +P, even though they're both +P, if that makes any sense. It's not significantly more recoil, it's just a hair more, but that's with Underwood ammo, which is a very hot, you know, 38 Special ammo. So what we're seeing today is interesting results. You know, it's kind of hard to compare them with not getting as good as expansion. I have a little bit different bullet design on that 38 Special. However, this is kind of the thing that I've seen a lot of times between 9mm and 38 Special. Statistically, the 9mm is doing better, but on some of the real world stopping power charts, or studies I should say, the 38 actually stops better and it produces more damage in a lot of my gel testing. So it's kind of like, do you read the expanded diameter and look at there's not a whole lot of damage, or do you read it that the 38 failed and yet it's winning in a sense? So it's an interesting comparison because it's never really a one-to-one comparison between 38 and 9mm, but they are very close in energy oftentimes, and the main differences are that 38 almost always has a larger hollow cavity, almost always has a flatter nose because it's a revolver round, and that pretty much always produces more damage in the target, even if you don't get expansion, if the energy is the same. And if you get expansion, you can often do it with less energy than what a 9mm would take to do it. So they are still pretty comparable though. So that's what you get today with the Underwood 124 grain 9mm+P and the 125 grain 38+P. So as always, comment, share, and like, and thanks for watching.